Okay, so we've packed up shop and moved locations, and we've gone farther east into Montana, and we are on one of the classic rivers that actually has brown trout in it. And it seems like there's a lot of rainbows, but there's also quite a few browns, and they're smart and wily and hard to catch. But yeah, we just rolled in. We got our campsite set up for the next few days, and we just got a couple hours of daylight left, so we just came up this riverbank to do a walk-in wade. And I'm telling you, my buddy just spotted this brown trout sitting in front of a boulder right near shore. That was probably a 10-pound brown or something. Like that was a big fish. And yeah, it was still sitting there, and he's gone upstream above it to see if he can't trick that big fish into biting his dry or his nymph. But that's exciting. Like first night, and we're already spotting big fish. I know they're not easy to catch, and they're super, they're wily, but yeah, it's exciting. So I'll turn it around and I'll show you guys where that fish was sitting. Oh, I love it here. Beautiful. It's gonna be hard to point out, but right there, there's just this big slab of brown trout sitting right there. And we think he's still there. He's just gone closer to the rock. So yeah, this is exciting. That was the biggest fish I've seen this whole trip. By a lot. All right, that took a lot of effort, but so we got a nice one, little cutty. Good morning. So we're just north of Helena, um, on a pretty popular river. It's pretty busy here. I'm not gonna lie, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's way more, you know, what I think of as quintessential like Montana fly fishing. Everyone's in the drift boats. Everyone's using dry flies and droppers, and yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I was just kind of shocked though because it's we don't have those kind of boats, so we had the raft so we could float down and pull out and just fish from shore. But man, the weeds in here are crazy. Like I almost can't even like for most of the morning I couldn't do anything because every cast I was pulling balls of friggin' weeds off both my dry fly and my dropper. So that was pretty frustrating. I didn't think I was going to catch anything. So I was sitting on the bank just watching all the other anglers, and I saw people hooking up from those drift boats, and my buddy caught a really big one right in front of me, right out in the middle of the river. And honestly, as I'm floating over, the water's so clear, I could see these big fish right below me, and I'm just, it's too hard to fish out of that inflatable raft I got. So, anyways, I did pull over to shore, and I was able to see a bunch of fish rising in some shallows. So I actually went through a couple flies, and I got 4 or 5 hits on it, but I don't think they were really committing to it. But they were under it, and you could see them sort of like boil under my fly. But then finally, that last one, I just put it right up in front of him, and he just hammered it and got it. Again, just kind of a small rainbow, nothing to write home about. But at least I'm catching fish. I honestly didn't even think I was going to catch a fish today. But yeah, no, this is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, we got our camp spot set up just above us here. It's one of those state campgrounds, so it's clean, well maintained, it's quite comfortable, and yeah, there's a restaurant and a bar just right across from it. So we might go out for grab a bite to eat and a beer tonight after today, and then my buddy's got to roll out early tomorrow morning to go home, so that was kind of short and sweet for him. But I might stick around here for a couple days after. We shall see. We'll see how the rest of the fishing goes today. It looks like there are some walking away spots, so I could manage to hang out here for a couple days, and I'm sure have a fair shot at catching some more fish. But yeah, we'll keep fishing, and I'll check in if I catch anything else. Yep. Yeah, buddy. It's the next day now. We had a really good day yesterday on the river. It took us a little while to figure out how to catch the fish, or at least how to catch them on a dry fly. It seemed what was happening was um, you'd see like in a kind of more shallow water and almost more, I wouldn't say glassy, but it was pretty flat. You would just start to see fish rise, and they would just be sipping. And then all of a sudden you'd see like a little pod of them. There'd be like 2, 3, 4, 5 fish. And you could see they were just in a school and they were just hitting stuff on the surface. So then once we figured out that we just had to get above that pod of rising fish and present a fly, pretty well. Like only show them the fly first. Like people say, if they see the line first, it's game over. So if you could just make a good cast and put your fly in front of the pod that was like actively feeding, there's a pretty good chance you were going to get that grab and that hookup. However, it was a very short window. I mean, they weren't rising all day. Once we figured that out, we sort of keyed in on it, but then it got about 1 in the afternoon. It was just too hot and all the action more or less shut down. So we called it a day. We actually did go out for a night fish last night, thinking that once the weather cooled off, we might have a better shot at getting more fish on the surface. But honestly, it was really dead last night, and neither of us caught fish, and had a couple little interactions where they came up and tried to take the fly, but it was very slow. So that was a bit of a write-off. My buddy's gone home now, so I just came out this morning and I just hit a couple walking weight spots I was looking at, and honestly, there's a couple fish and stuff on the surface, but couldn't find any of those areas. I had those pods of rising fish today, so no luck so far. I'll keep fishing for a little bit. It's starting to get really hot, and if I catch anything, I'll show you guys. But honestly, I'm quite happy just to have a chill day. I just want to. When you're living out of your truck, it's really frustrating when it's unorganized, and I feel like it's very unorganized right now. So this afternoon, while it's hot, I'm just going to pull everything out of my truck, lay it out, reorganize it, put it back in properly, and just helps make life that much more tolerable when you're living out of your truck on the road. Just you know where to find things when you need them. And then yeah, I booked camp spot again for tonight. I kind of like it there. It's comfortable. There's a couple stores nearby and a restaurant and a pub. So yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm totally off the grid. So I might stay again tonight. Well, I am staying again tonight, and then maybe I'll fish again in the morning. I think I'd like to go to Bozeman next, just because I haven't been there, and it's on my list of things to see, and it is on the way to Yellowstone National Park, which is also something I want to go see. So no, I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll book a night or two in Bozeman at a hotel, and then I can shower, reset, do a bit of laundry, get all my gear cleaned up, and then go down to Yellowstone, and then maybe turn and come back up, and I'll work my way back up into the southern Canada there, southern Alberta, southern BC, and maybe go back over some pieces of water that I didn't hit yet, and yeah, check back in with my friends in Fernie. Maybe that's the way to go. I mean, this has been fun, but I don't think anyone else is coming down to meet up to fish, so that's fine. I mean, I didn't expect anyone to. It was really nice to have my buddy here for the few days that he was. But yeah, I think Yellowstone is just on my personal bucket list to go check out. So maybe once I do that, I'll turn and burn. And yeah, I mean, I can fish rivers in Montana. I did buy like an annual license, so I may as well milk it a bit. So maybe I'll spend another week in Montana and see how I feel. And then if I want to work my way back up to Canada, I can. But overall, this has been great. Big learning curve. Trout fishing is not steelheading, and there's a lot to know. So I feel grateful to caught the fish that I have caught. Got a couple of good ones. But yeah, looking forward to hitting the road again and seeing what's out there.